Hey everybody, today I've got a fun comic strip inspired card to share with you today. It's featuring two Paper Diva stamps. Here's a look at the card, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using this stamp set. It's called For Peeps Sake, which is just adorable. But I'm going to start off with the egg image. I've got a 1.5 by 2 inch rectangle that's a white cardstock. And I'm just going to stamp my egg down on that in VersaFine Onyx Black ink. That's the only thing I'll do right now with that one. Now I've got a 2 inch by 2 inch white rectangle, and I'm going to be stamping the bottom of the egg on this. I have already stamped all the pieces I'm using onto Inkadinkado masking paper and trimmed those out just to save some time. And there you can see all my little pieces down there in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and mask off the bottom egg portion, and then I'll come in with the egg stamp again and the same VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I will line that up, and it's very easy to see because they're clear stamps. You can see right through, and I'll just line that up and stamp that on top so it looks like my little egg is starting to crack. When I was creating this card, I went ahead and did all my cutting, all my stamping and masking, all of my sponging, all of my coloring. I did it all in order and layers, so I wasn't moving around from one to the next. I got everything out of the way so I could put supplies away because this is a pretty labor-intensive card. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp the bottom of the egg again. And again, same VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I will be using that ink throughout the entire card. I'll stamp that down, and this is another 2 inch by 2.25 inch rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and mask off that bottom portion of the egg again. The great thing about these masks when you use the Inkadinkado masking paper, you can keep reusing these and they last through several inkings or replacements, I guess you could say. Now I've got the circle stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that so it looks like the little head is starting to pop up. And then because I am using a pigment ink, I did set this aside to dry before I tried pulling my masks up. So just keep that in mind if you use this ink. Now moving on, I've got a 1.5 inch by 2.25 inch rectangle. Again, white cardstock. I stamped the little body of the chick. I will mask it off. I'll come in with the circle, or the head in this case. And I will, again, same VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I will stamp it down. I've also got all of my little feet and head and little hairs. I've got this little hair I'm going to be placing on top of its head. And once I ink that up, I'm going to move on right to the top there, where I don't know why I wiped this off. I really shouldn't have. It just wasted time. But I'm going to go ahead and ink it up again, and I will stamp it right on top of his little head in this one too. So again, do it line style just to save you some time. Now I've got the face, and I'll stamp it on this one. And I will also set that aside and stamp it on the other little chick there while it's inked up. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on and stamp my little feet at the bottom there. These will be mostly covered, but again, they're just cute. I mean, look at that little chick. And once you remove the mask, then you'll really see just how cute he is. So go ahead and stamp both feet. And then we're going to move on, and I'm going to start placing all those masks down. I created, again, masks at the beginning for all of these and trim them out. I'll go ahead and place the egg mask down, and then I just cut out, it's a piece of white cardstock, and it's a Mama Elephant Landscape Trio border die. This is the cloud border, and I'm just going to use this as sort of a stencil or a mask, and use some Salty Ocean Distress ink, and just keep moving that down and sponging on some of that distress ink to make it look like it's got clouds in the background. And I won't make you sit through all these because, again, it's just moving this down and creating some clouds. And you can see once I finished inking this up or sponging this on, I can remove my mask and my egg is still protected underneath stark white, ready for some coloring. I'm going to speed through these next ones. And just remember when you're doing this to place your mask down before you start inking them up. Ask me how I know. But just go ahead and place those down and ink on your Salty Ocean or whatever color ink you want to use. So I finished those up, and I wanted to show you too, don't throw your masks away once you've spent all that time cutting them out. Store them on the back of your stamp set and save them for future use. You never know when you might need them, and it just really comes in handy. So I've moved on, and I'm going to start just using some colored pencils to color in all of my images. I used some gray just to give my eggs a little bit of depth, and some white also on those. I've used 2 different yellows on my little chick and some orange for the beak and for the feet. And then I'll just come in with some Gamsol and my paper blending stump and just blend those out. Again, I did this coloring all in one step, and then I came in with my Gamsol. Moving on to my sentiment, I've got this 3 3/4 inch by 1/2 inch strip of white cardstock, and I'm just going to use the same VersaFine Onyx black ink to stamp on the sentiment, Happy Easter to my peeps. I think it's really cute. This is going to go to my nieces and nephews, so I think it just fits them perfectly. So now I've got all of my little elements ready to go here. And I know you're thinking it looks like they're floating in mid-air right now, and that is because I forgot to add the grass before I glued this on. It's a mistake I made, and I couldn't figure out why everything looked just a little bit off. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to add grass. So I will fix that in the end, but right now I'm moving on, and I've got all my little pieces, and I've arranged them how I want them before I start placing them down. These already have double-sided adhesive on the back of them, so it's very simple to just pick one up, peel the backing off, and stick it right back down in its place. There you can see, I'm just going to place my last little scene on. And if you wanted to do this, like cut out the squares from the black cardstock and then pop the black piece up, that would look really cute, but this is just the simplest way I found to do this. Now I went ahead and attached a piece of fun foam to the back, again with double-sided adhesive, and I will pop this up onto a white A2 top folding card base. Now this is where I was like, okay, this card is good to go. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. It's done. And then I was like, oh my gosh, where's the grass? So before I move on and add the grass, I'm going to go ahead and put down some Winkostella. Now obviously, if you can remember to put the grass down beforehand, great. I didn't. But now I'm going to go ahead and grab out my Big Shot and start cutting the grass pieces. I even had this die laid out on my desk right there, ready to use in the prep for the video, and still I didn't remember to do it. I don't know why. But anyway, I cut those out from green cardstock. I think I cut about 6 of these out and sponged on a little bit of mowed lawn distressing just to give it a little depth and dimension to the plain cut grass pieces. So then I went ahead with my Tim Holtz ruler and I measured each piece across, and I just cut my little pieces down to size. Now each piece will have 2 on it except the last piece. I didn't want to cover up all of the little chick's legs there, so I just put 1 on it. The back piece I went ahead and put down with double-sided adhesive, and then the top piece I popped up with some fun foam. And there you can see I've already got my pieces put on now, and there's just my last little piece, and that finishes the card off. I will leave you all with just a few pictures. For more information and a complete supply list, you can visit my blog, craftingwhilecaffeinated.wordpress.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy crafting!